Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to our playthrough of Tales of Arise. I'm your casual nerd, and last time we had a lot of cutscenes. We had our first fight with this very rusty, very beaten up sword here, and we established a pretty interesting dynamic between our character here and this female character, Xion, and similar to that we established a dynamic between the dominant and the subdued people here, the Deans and the Reans, and now we have to meet up with the resistance.
Be careful. If you get close to a Zoogle, they'll attack.
We see we will have some enemies here, some level 3 wolves, and we get some more introduction to the battle system. So we can open up the menu, you can change the settings for your characters, automatic, half automatic, manual, and I think we're gonna leave it on manual. This is the most control we're gonna have. I don't want them to move on their own, or at least not the character I currently control. Just gonna leave everything as it is. But you can do it, so.
Take it! You're mine!
Swallow blade! This is it! Dig deep!
Easier said than done.
No excuses! This is up to us!
How's this? Mega ray!
Slash! I'm on it!
Got it!
Slash! One final push!
Right.
Give them all we got!
Slice.
How's this?
There! Got it!
Talent goal!
Swallow blade.
This is not going to plan.
First
I
aid!
owe you one.
So I'm taking a lot of damage, but getting a lot of healing also, so very interesting so far. Doesn't seem to be too easy, but we also choose the medium difficulty. So we're gonna watch out for this. On the left it explains us.
Don't fight any enemies you can otherwise avoid, alright?
Makes sense. If we try to take them all on, there'll be no end
So
in sight.
we see
You sure won't
here,
hear me complaining.
maybe, and yes indeed, we can climb up these vines and go around this big golem, which looks pretty tough, or at least go there, see it.
What a
Alright.
weird stone.
I sense a
Found
strange
some more.
power from it. We should gather as many as we can find.
It's an antidote, or at least it looks like an antidote. And we're just gonna skip them. It looks pretty strong, but we're gonna definitely take this.
This is-
Got some,
Seems you found something good.
got some
Supplies like that are
lives.
valuable. Never overlook them.
Got it. I'll remember that.
Here we're getting closer to our goal, and probably another cutscene, which I will shut my trap.
Let's stop a moment to catch our breath.
But I've barely worked up a sweat.
Speak for yourself. What do you want, a medal? Doesn't look like we're being followed. Fail to grab these rare moments of quiet when you can. You'll end up regretting it later.
You're the boss.
So we can take rests at this camps, and our life points and our healing points will be restored there, and we can watch some private actions, some talking, and some videos we already have seen, so we can
Normally,
just
we should take turns standing guard.
get this.
But this first time,
It's
I'll watch
probably-
over things so you two can rest easy.
It's probably here.
I've
memories.
never just sat and watched a fire like this before.
We have
It's
movies.
surprisingly soothing.
and we have
Well, aren't you getting comfortable?
All the talking.
You realize there are still Zeugles prowling around out here, right?
Ah, don't be a spoil sport.
Chit-chatter.
It's important to let your mind and spirit relax. Does you a lot more good than you might think.
So Sephiroth teaches us how important it is to
A
take
Master
rest now and
Core, huh?
then.
Now I see. So that's why Balsef's cronies were so desperate to catch her.
Is that what it's called? The jewel in her chest?
Oh, right. You don't remember a damn thing, do you? Ah, fair enough. Guess it's time to fill you back in. Tell me, you ever wonder why we Dahnans are made to work ourselves to the bone, day in, day out?
Well, when you put it like that, I always just assumed we were mining resources for them.
And don't you think it'd be quicker if they used all that high-powered tech they have? Why go to all the trouble of relying on weak human labor?
It's actually a good point.
Listen, what the Renans are really after isn't resources or minerals. It's astral energy. They're harvesting the astral energy that sleeps inside all matter in life forms. And they're doing it the same way they have for the past 300 years, using us Dahnans as mere siphons.
Right. They have machines for minerals, but extracting from Dahnans requires spirit cores. Any astral energy collected passes through a spirit vessel on its way to being stored in a master core.
But why go to the trouble of collecting all this energy in the first place? Do they really need all that juice just to use astral arts?
It determines the Sovereign.
Sovereign? Is that the Renan ruler?
Exactly. 5 lords, each doing whatever it takes to gather as much astral energy as they can and store it in their master cores. Whichever of them manages to accumulate the most power at the end of their contest is crowned the ruler of the Renan motherland. A new crown contest, as they call it, is held every decade or so.
So you see, the Master Cores are the receptacles in which the Lords store their power. And we Dahnans are sacrificed, so the Renans can choose their new ruler.
That's insane! You're telling me that's what our people have been dying for this whole time?
Relax, hero. You're not the only one who's bent out of shape about the whole thing. There are 2 things that I haven't been able to get my head around yet. What business would a Renan have stealing a Master Core? And what's the deal with that blazing sword?
I think the sword is a physical manifestation of the Master Core's astral energy. As for why it took the shape of a sword, well, I don't know any more than you do. Honest.
And that stuff about needing your permission to use it? What was that about?
I'm the only one of us who can control the Master Core to some extent. Without me to adjust the flow of astral energy, the sword can't take a physical form.
What do you want out of this? You may be one of them, but you don't strike me as the ruthless oppressor type.
I'm going to take down all of the lords.
Never thought I'd say this, but I like the cut of your jib, Renan. Very well. As far as we're concerned, the struggle continues either way. And with that sword on our side, our chances of victory just increased. That is, of course, assuming we can count the 2 of you in.
Fine by me. After all, it sounds like we're after the same thing anyway.
Honestly, I'm still a little confused by all this. But if it's a choice between this or going back to being a slave, then I choose to fight.
Then it's settled. Together we'll overthrow the Renan Lords. And first up on that chopping block is Balsef, the wild beast. Sound good?
Gotta hurry.
Alright.
We have another secret hideout in Ulzebek, not far from here. We should be able to meet up with our comrades there.
So, we
I
got
hate
some more
camping out.
info about all this core stuff, what it is, how this works. And we officially joined the resistance, it seems. Or we at least have the same goal. Our hero here would rather fight than be a slave, which is something I totally understand. And she wants to take down the lords. It seems there is something more to it, but it's not just clear now. It's just this flashback makes her or keeps her enigmatic. And we have another little talk.
Cut it out. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's rude to stare?
I know I already asked you this, but are you sure we haven't met somewhere before?
What's so hard to understand? I'm Renan, you're Danon. There's no way. Besides, I'm from Lenegis. Trust me, wherever you were before you lost your memory, we've never crossed paths.
Lenegis? You mean the same Lenegis that's up in the sky? I've heard it called the Renan's Castle, but I never imagined people actually lived up there.
Well then, where did you think we all lived? Didn't you see the Renan Lords descend for the crown contest?
And how long ago was that?
Well, the current contest started 7 years ago, so...
Then I wouldn't remember.
Just how far back do you remember?
About a year, give or take. That's how long ago Doc found me.
1 year. Then no. I'm sorry, but there really is no way we could have met.
Guess not.
So, I'm not totally sure we're really Danon. If you paid attention in one of the cutscenes with the blazing sword, one side of his mask was pretty shiny, and they called the Renan's bright eyes, or shiny eyes. And maybe there's something up to this. So now we have to go to the other base. So... let's see, we came from here, took this, so we just follow the canyon further. There's something shiny here, probably something to collect. Yes, indeed.
We should be able to eat this. Whenever you find some, make sure to grab it.
It's edible, huh? Good to know.
Definitely.
There's some way down. Then we're gonna check this out. There's some kind of lake, pond. Let's see what we find here. It's like somewhat hidden area. And I said if we find something, we will go for it. Oh, that's one way to catch fish. Pretty manly.
What's this thing?
Oh yeah, and we've got some herbs. And it seems like in the other Tales of series, herbs can be used to get our stats higher. So this gives us more health. And we're gonna give it to our main character because he's the one in the front line. He's the one getting all the punches. Also, it's the one we are controlling. And if we fail to dodge, a little bit of a cushion in HP is nice to have. We're the long way up again. So pretty cool, we found this. Pretty helpful. Go on through this burning canyon. I wonder if there's some more fights happening here. There's some item here. More healing items. I wonder if it's capped in the other Tales of
That's one
series.
enormous stray.
I don't think we can take it right now.
And there's some big monsters that just tell us to avoid it. And it's probably better to do so.
We've almost made it to Ulzebek.
Some mushrooms here. There's this big thing. Looks pretty dope, and yeah, pretty strong. Just get this antidote stone.
That's not your run-of-the-mill enemy.
No, doesn't seem to be. Looks pretty dope though. So we're gonna check beneath this stuff. Is there something here? No. Nothing here either. And we have
Normally
some,
I don't pick on the weak. You're mine! You're surrounded! Just stay calm! Here I come! Talon Storm! You're finished! Guess we gotta roll with it. Swallow Blade!
Yeah, roll with it. That's a nice pun. All 4 puns,
See ya!
so they're not taking that much damage.
Take this! You're finished! Mirage!
Charging Shion! See ya!
You're mine!
They
Turn the
can hit
tables
each
on
other.
them.
That's interesting.
Rising!
Right, coming!
No time to hold back! You're mine!
Here I go.
Got the last one.
You're mine!
Just hit him down. Very nice.
I need to be stronger.
We got all these materials, and I'm pretty sure we will need them. There's often some kind of upgrading or crafting system. And what do we have here?
What's this thing?
Oh, orange jelly. Probably is good for healing points, art points, whatever we want to call them. We'll take this fuckers on. It's 2 of them.
I'll take you all on!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
I'll run you through!
It's
See
over!
ya!
Mega Ray.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Lewis!
How's this?
Mega Ray.
See ya!
Just try to chain this stuff together.
On to the next!
Roger that!
Show me what you got!
One. And the other one died too.
Everything's
So pretty
coming up,
nice.
Zephyr!
There's a little owl sitting here, so let's check it out. Oh, so we get accessoires, accessories. We got a dog tail. And now it's gonna fly
That's an
away.
unusual bird.
It's an owl. They're often used as a symbol to represent ancient Dana.
So pretty nice. So our goal is here, so we're going to take this step to this, get another, probably an antidote
Right,
stone.
here goes!
Mega Ray.
Try harder!
Oh,
Here I go.
I'm on it!
You're
Swallow
mine.
Blade!
Don't go charging off like that!
whoop, whoop, and air, and 2 rolls probably. Just get
Here
this.
I come! You're
I was overcome.
Fall back!
Rising Wyvern!
Talon Storm! Touch cannon!
Okay, so he just punched him down. And we
Shion,
lost
you okay?
Shion.
It's nothing. Don't be so dramatic.
So let's check if she stays dead after battle. No, she comes back with 1 HP. And let's go to here. She has these healing arts. Like these. Oh, she even has an angel art to raise the dead. We're gonna use this on her and heal us in the same vein. Okay, very nice. Oh, it's another stone. It's Parallax stone. Let's see what this can do. So it's probably against paralysis. Yeah, pretty nice. So I think for the time being we got everything in this canyon. And we're going to our next destination. another base from the Resistance. So let's see where we end up and how this new area looks like. It's some kind of village or city, probably more slaves. Looks pretty run down.
Okay, people, this is it. Ulzebek.
No sign of any Renan guardsmen.
The Renans aren't as populous as the Danans. Probably figure stationing guards in a place like this would be a waste of precious manpower.
So this is where the next safe house is?
Yes. The last place they'd think to look for enemies is on their own doorstep.
That is, assuming anyone actually made it here before us.
Zephyr!
Looks like we needn't have worried. Come on.
So we arrived at this village, which seems to be on its own, not worth guarding, not worth putting some guards there. And there's probably some more story beats here, and the first shops, and all the stuff you usually see in an RPG. Maybe some side quests, all the hub stuff. So I think this is where we end this episode. We're probably going to check this place out in the next episode, so see you then.